Atheism is down as UK gets spiritual, so said the Times newspaper recently after it published the results of a new survey. For the third year in a row, there has been a decline in the number of people who do not believe in any sort of God or greater spiritual power. In 2016, such disbelievers were 38% of the British population. In 2018, that was down by an eighth to 33%. Now, at the same time, this trend goes hand in hand with the so-called rise of the nuns, which sounds like the least scary horror film ever. It's up there with the likes of Dawn of the Florists or Revenge of the Dental Hygienists or something. I don't know. The Shining, The Shoe Shining, that would not be a scary film. Or Seesaw, not very scary. The Exercise of Emily Rose. Fairly Normal Activity 2, Fairly Normal Activity 3, or my personal favourite, Drag Me to Halfords. Shut up, that was a good one. So the rise of the nuns is not about a convent that is built on an ancient Indian burial ground. The rise of the nuns is the rise of the N-O-N-E-S. Those who, when asked on a census to state their religion, they respond, none. In this country, atheism is down, Christianity is down, nuns are up. So then, fewer people are nailing their colours to a religious mast, but fewer people are nailing them to the atheist mast. And maybe that's no bad thing. I travel around the UK talking to folk outside the church about Jesus, and I've developed a rule of thumb as I discuss God with all ages. If you are over 65 and you tell me that you're a Christian, I don't believe you. I'm not rude about it. I don't poke you in the chest and demand that you sing Shine, Jesus, Shine to prove it. It's just that when you tell me you're a Christian, there's some part of me that's thinking, maybe this person has heartfelt love for Jesus, and maybe they just happen to sing Jerusalem at school assemblies. 65 years ago, it was comparatively easy to choose from a list of identity labels Christianity and to kind of slap it on and walk out into your day, and you're a Christian. Why are you a Christian? Well, because you're English. It's your birthright, don't you know? There is such a thing as nominal Christianity, right? That means being Christian in name only. So if you're over 65 and you tell me that you're a Christian, I don't believe you. But if you are under 35 and you tell me you're an atheist, I don't believe you. And for the very same reason. These days, it's incredibly easy to choose from the available identity labels, atheist, and you slap it on and you walk out into your day. And why are you an atheist? Is it because you've read Bertrand Russell? No, it's just a convenient label that helps you navigate life as frictionlessly as possible. But it's a nominal atheism, right? An atheism in name only. Push beneath, and who knows what the person really believes. The statistics bear this out. Last year, Pew Research in the States did a large survey where 80% of respondents described themselves as believers in God, and roughly 19-20% described themselves as atheists. But the pollsters did the right thing. They asked a follow-up question. They asked, which God do you believe in, and which God don't you believe in? It turns out that when you ask people who say they believe in God, which God you believe in, only 56% believe in the God of the Bible. And it turns out that half of the self-described atheists actually believe in a higher power or spiritual force in the universe. Funny kind of atheist, don't you think? But they don't know, right? It's just a label. It's just something you slap on, and it helps you to get around the world as frictionlessly as possible. These days, it's easy to be a nominal atheist, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a thoroughgoing metaphysical naturalist, right? You're just a nominal atheist, or a nominal nun, or a Nomi-None, as I like to call it. That's your word for 2019. Mark my words, you heard it here first. Nomi-Nones, they're on the rise. If you ask people to give you a label, they will give you one that probably doesn't really fit them, especially if they're not used to talking the language of faith, which folks outside the church aren't, and which Brits definitely aren't. Ask people what they believe, and they don't really know, and they don't really know how to report on what they believe. See, in that same Pew survey from the States last year, 40% of the people who said they seldom or never pray later reported that they talk to God, right? They don't pray. Of course they don't pray. Who prays these days? Praying? Pfft, nah, never do it. Do you talk to God? Oh, yeah, all the time. Talk to God, yeah. Just don't pray, right? What do we say to that? Well, if you're actually talking to God, but not praying, brilliant. Whatever you thought prayer was, kiss that thing goodbye and keep on talking to God. Nice one, right? Let's not get hung up on the label. I meet lots of people who tell me they don't believe in God, and I press in and I ask them, well, which God don't you believe in? And they describe some distant individual, high on power, low on personality, some kind of bearded, angry individual with a thunderbolt ready to hurl. And what do I say? I say, that sounds like Zeus. I don't believe in Zeus. If Zeus is the God they mean when they say they don't believe in God, well, praise God for their atheism, right? There is a fall in nominal Christianity, and maybe that's no bad thing. There's a fall in nominal atheism. That's probably a good thing too. And there's a rise of the nuns. But it's not so scary, really. Just be curious. If someone describes themselves to you as having no religion, just be curious. Go beneath the labels. You might find that they're really a Nomi-None. And maybe we can all discover that Jesus is the God we can finally believe in. It's the 8th of January. This is Speak Life, and you're watching the livecast.